Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi, Simone. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Nick?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. How's everything going being stuck inside?
Um, as good as it can be.
Right?
It's been nice while the weather has been nice. We've been going for a lot of walks and and that's been good. But last night, a lot of snow. I'm just
Yeah.
ready for spring and summer to be here.
Seriously, though, this has been one heck of a spring. I mean, especially like the last 48 hours. I'm pretty sure we've experienced like all four of the seasons. It's been wild.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm glad you were able to come on the show tonight and talk some music and everything else that's going on. So,
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
yeah, of course. Anytime. You're a great person. And I feel like a lot of people really need to hear more of your music because you're wonderful at what you do. So I'm excited
Thank you.
to learn more. Cool. So let's get this party started. Why don't you go ahead and tell myself and the viewers a little bit more about yourself for people who already don't know who you are.
So, I'm not the best at introducing myself.
That's fine. You
I'm
can
just
do it.
just a regular person. I'm a local musician. Um, I do a lot of different things, but sort of my feature what I do is I'm a local jazz musician. I have a group that I play with, Chautauqua Jazz Revival. We do a lot of stuff up at Chautauqua Institution, but we also gig around Erie a bit. We don't always go by the name. Sometimes it's just like Nicholas Nasibyan Trio, or sometimes I perform with Dylan Chadamantle Trio. So I do jazz. I play venues around town. Most recently, we've been playing a lot at Pineapple Eddie's.
Okay.
But I've played at Sneaky Pete's, The Cork. I've played at Cockwood Club, Yacht Club. I mean, every
Kind of
venue
everywhere.
you can think of. I've probably played at. Although I'm still hoping that I will be able to perform at Room 33 at some point.
Yes, yes.
And heard great things about the schoolhouse. So I haven't been there, but I also do a lot of stuff up at Chautauqua, as I said. So
Great.
the venues I have up there are Two Ames and the Athenaeum Hotel. I play at the Riverside Brewing Company. That's another one I just forgot to say. And before the Riverside Inn burnt down, I used to play at the Riverside Inn.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so that's what I do sort of as a freelance musician. I do jazz. I also play for weddings, parties, and different events. And my regular day job, if you will, is that I'm the music director of St. Thomas the Apostle Church in Corey.
Okay.
So I run all the music at the church.
Awesome. So you're a man of many wonders. You're just a little bit of everywhere. I love it. The variety is endless with you.
Yeah, I all over the place. Driving all over this region is kind of the most chaotic part of what I do. It's just like driving from this gig to that gig on the opposite end of Erie County, and
Right. You're putting
can
all
sometimes
a
be
whole
can
hell
sometimes be
ton of miles on your car, that's for sure.
a lot of miles, yeah, and sometimes it can be very busy in one like 2 or 3 day time period.
Yeah,
It'll be like crazy busy, and then I won't have anything going on for 3 or 4 days, and I'll just feel like I'm like wasting my life not doing anything. So it's kind of,
right.
I never know. I build my own schedule, and sometimes it happens that I don't have work, and then sometimes I can't I have way too much work, so it's kind of,
Right.
yeah.
Well, at least you're keeping yourself busy. I mean, before all this took place, that is. So it kind of works out. I mean, how long have you been doing music for? Like, when did you find a passion for this?
Very young. I started when I was 4 years old, playing. Um, really started to perform out in public about the age of 7. My dad is an artist, and he goes to arts and crafts shows for his line of work. And just growing up, I used to occasionally come with my mom and dad to all these arts shows. And around the age of 6 or 7, I just was like starting to get really bored because I'm sitting in a tent with my mom and dad
Right.
for hours watching my dad cut silhouettes. And I always was fascinated by him. He's a silhouette artist.
Right.
He cuts the best way, for those of you who don't know what silhouette art is, it's basically you take black paper and you cut the outline of the side profile of the person. And he's an incredible artist in his own right. You should follow him on Facebook for sure. His name is Igor Nasibyan. His page is Silhouettes, SILHOUETTES, by Igor Nasibyan. But so that that's just sort of
It's all right. You got to share the love with the dad. I love it.
yeah. So he would be cutting silhouettes and I would just be really bored. And back then there wasn't, kids didn't have cell phones, obviously. Or adults didn't even have them, honestly, either. But I remember I used to have walkie-talkie, and sometimes I would just go and walk around the show, and my parents would say, okay, we'll take the walkie-talkie. And that would be my sort of lifeline in case.
Yeah, I remember walkie-talkies. Those were the days.
Yeah. But anyways, I decided about age 7 that I was like, you know what? Why can't I just bring my keyboard and set it up by my parents' tent and just play?
Right.
And just maybe make some tips. And my parents were like, that's an interesting idea. And they asked the promoters of the show, and some shows were like, no, absolutely not. But then there was some shows that were like, yeah, why not? Go ahead.
Right.
So I did. And I ended up, when I was 7 or 8, I don't remember exactly, but it was
flies when you're having fun.
it was $250 in tips that I made. And
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And I was like, all right, this is how I'm going to make money.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's sort of how I figured out that I wanted to be a musician. So I was really young. And, and it's not always good money like that. And I didn't appreciate the value of $250 when I was that age.
Amen. Right. Yeah, that's a lot for a little kid, and you really don't think about it then, but now you're like, oh my gosh, I was making bank.
Yeah, well, people just saw this really cute kid singing and playing piano, and I can't say I was that good. I mean, I was better than most kids that age,
right?
But I just think it was the cuteness factor, I mean,
that always steals people's hearts, for sure. Oh my gosh, I just want to squeeze his cheeks. He's so cute. Whatever works, okay? So, what other instruments do you play besides piano?
Besides piano, I play guitar. At the end of the show, I thought I don't normally play the guitar, but I brought it out. So I play a song on the guitar.
Nice.
And I also do organ, which is also basically, it's a keyboarded instrument as well, like piano. So it's very natural to go from piano to organ. But then also the voice, I sing, that's considered an instrument. And then I played trumpet from 5th grade through my senior year of high school. So I got to be halfway decent at trumpet, but then I just I stopped after a couple of years after high school. I would do some shows once in a while on trumpet, and then slowly I started to play less and less. So not really ready. I couldn't just pull out the trumpet and start playing something cool. But yeah, I mean, I played trumpet. I took violin lessons when I was a kid, so
my goodness,
I'm just experienced in playing a lot of different instruments. But but professionally, piano, organ, voice, maybe guitar.
Okay, maybe. If it's on a good day, you're good.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's really interesting. You are definitely a very musical man, that's for sure. So, like, when you were in school, did you ever like partake in any type of like musical theater or anything like that? Or
Yeah. I never was in a musical as an actor or vocalist, but I played in the orchestra. I went to Mercyhurst Prep for high school, and we did all of the, well, actually, when I was in fifth grade, now that I think about it, I went to Wattsburg, and I was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat way back then, and
I
in the
remember
kids
those.
chorus, nothing major, but
Right.
and but like I always wanted to sing in the musical, but I was in orchestra, so ended up just being that I would be in the orchestra and play for the shows. And so then when we had the plays, the non-musical plays, I tried out for those, and I was in two regular plays without music, and then but I did all kinds of musicals in the orchestra, and I vocal directed musicals. I play piano and organ. I'm sorry, piano and trumpet for musicals at Seneca High School and Mercyhurst Prep. So I'm kind of been involved with musical theater, but not really as singing. I just was about to be in my first actual production,
Yeah.
which was going to be at PACA this, I
Ooh,
don't know, around this time.
right.
Um, and that got canceled because of the coronavirus. So I was
Right.
looking forward to that. It was closer than ever.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, that's a bummer. I know so many different events were canceled for a lot of the creatives here in Erie, so that kind of sucks. But hopefully, at least it'll get rescheduled. Do you think that'll happen?
Um,
Ross?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it might. I really don't know.
Right, right.
Um, it's possible. It's possible for sure.
Only time will tell, for sure. So you were kind of speaking earlier with the other people that you've worked with in the community. I know you've worked with like Michael Hibbler. Can you just like kind of
Hmm.
expand on who else you've really worked with in the musical community here?
Yeah, Mike Hibbler, an amazing drummer, good friend, and Alex McLaughlin, who plays bass. Dylan Shadowmantle, he's a great vocalist and trumpet player, and really sort of the life of the band when we all play as a group. Dylan is just a very entertaining individual to hang out with and do gigs with. So it's always a good time. And other people I've played with, Chris von Volkenberg. Trying to think some other people that local people that I've worked with
Yeah.
off the top of my head. Um, I probably a couple more, but they're not just coming to my head right
It's
this
fine.
second.
It's okay. There's probably a lot because I figure, I mean, with all of your talents, you probably worked with a bunch of people. Have you worked with anyone that isn't local?
Yes, yeah. Several other people,
Okay.
but um, a lot of what I do is actually just solo work too. So I actually don't like doing solo work as much because it's less interactive. It's so much better to have a group of friends and just jamming out with them, because
Right.
everyone has their own part that it makes the music so much more rich, and it's a lot more fun. I can do a solo gig. I've been doing solo work my whole life, so it's natural for me to do that as well. But I'd like to do more collaborative stuff, and I don't just do jazz. I do a lot of different things, but
Right.
that's sort of my what I'm most passionate about. But I'm flexible. I mean, I can lay down some keys for whatever genre you probably whatever genre. If there's other people interested in collaborating that are watching at any point, I'd definitely be down to jam at some point, so.
Cool. I can dig it. I mean, you've got the Ballad of Bernie Sanders, which is definitely a very, very interesting song that you have put up on the internet. Can you kind of expand on that and your inspiration for that?
Well, yeah, I kind of very much inspired by Bernie. Obviously, he's just a great. He's a really an enigma of our modern political life, and really an amazing person. Love Bernie, but I'm also friends with a guy that is probably not well known at all by anyone of our generation, because he was like peak popularity before we were even born. His name is Mark Russell, and he had a show on PBS back in like the 80s and the 90s that he would do these political commentaries. He stood at the piano, and then he would do parodies of popular American songs, but he would take the words and like make them funny and about politics. And so I grew up going to Chautauqua a lot. My grandparents would take me on Sundays up there because it's free on Sundays.
Okay.
And through that connection, I met Mark Russell, who is connected up there and who has a home up there, and he really inspired me as not just being a musician, but he's so entertaining. He's so interesting to watch and listen to, and he's a great friend. So I got inspired by Mark Russell, and he always wore a bow tie. So the Ballad of Bernie Sanders is sort of like a tribute to Mark Russell, although of course Mark Russell kind of bashes on everyone. I mean, he's not afraid to be like against Democrats or against Republicans. I mean, he's just out there making fun of everyone, which is I love. But like I couldn't help but just like gush over Bernie. I threw in a few jabs, but the DNC rigged the primary against the poor old SOB. That was kind of my version of a jab.
Okay.
But yeah, so Mark Russell really inspired me, and Bernie Sanders. So that was my inspiration for those things.
Okay, nice. Very interesting. So you're getting some love here on Facebook. We got Cody Martinez who said hi and that you taught him how to sing.
Hey, Cody. Thanks for tuning in.
And then you got another friend over here, Brandy Linney, who said that you're a very nice boy who plays at Crazy Oven and that you're very sweet.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I didn't even mention the Crazy Oven. I feel like that's where I've been playing the most lately, but
Yeah.
it's been the Crazy Oven isn't really busy this time of year. So I've been playing for audiences of like 1-2 tables at times.
Right.
And I was really looking forward to this summer. I hope that things kind of return back to normal, because
Yes.
this summer it's going to be really, really hopping down there
You know it for sure. Well,
for those of you who
hopefully,
don't know where the Crazy Oven is, everyone's like, "Where's the Crazy Oven?" But it's Steve-O's Pizza. It's just they renamed it. It's the Crazy Oven. There's a bar. They have great drinks. I mean, the pizza is superb, and it's right on the peninsula, right next to Sarah's. So
right.
so everyone knows where Sarah's is at. So
Exactly.
right next to Sarah's.
Cool. So pull up on him. If all of this stuff ends, go to Crazy Oven. It's going to be lit.
Yes.
So to kind of take a serious turn with everything that's going on, kind of what is your take on the whole COVID-19 pandemic that we're all experiencing right now?
Well, the COVID. Hey, how's it going? The COVID-19. Geez. What a crazy thing. I honestly don't know how to. I don't really know how to. Sorry, I'm sorry. My neighbor just popped in for a second here, and so I got a little distracted. So yeah, COVID-19. I honestly really didn't. I wasn't really paying that close attention to it as it started to and I don't think really anyone was.
Right.
I
No.
don't think we really were taking it seriously to the extent that we should have been early on. Because I think if we would have been more informed
Yes.
earlier on, I think we could have probably mitigated sooner and probably avoided this long drawn out thing. But I don't know really much about it. I mean, I'm not a
Gotta
scientist.
educate yourself, boy. What the heck
um
are you doing?
but I just think I'm really worried about the economics of it.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm I think that it sucks that a lot of people are dying from it. I mean, it's definitely a hard call, and I think we made the right decision by shutting everything down. Like,
Yes.
um because it would have been a lot more fatal, and a lot of people are like, well, it hasn't killed as many people as this or that, and that's because of what we're doing. So I think
Right.
it's important that we try to, as much as possible, avoid contact with other people, although it's really hard because I gotta, for me personally, like I want to work on some projects that require me being with a few other people.
Right.
So I kind of have to break the rules a little bit, but I'm trying my best to just kind of um stay at home as much as possible, not go out to Wegmans. I like to go to Wegmans a lot and just like walk around because I'm enticed by all the things that they have in there. And
Yeah, well, Wegmans is
so,
popping.
yeah. So I've been limiting that, and yeah, so I don't know. It's just a crazy, I don't even know how to how to explain
Yeah,
my feelings for it. It's just
it's a lot.
we are I really just miss being with people and going places and doing things, but I think at the same time it's been really good because it's given us really a period to take a step back and really breathe and start focusing on our own needs, because I think
Yes.
so often we live in this world and it gets so chaotic and so busy, and we're constantly working and going and moving and here and there, especially me at this gig and that gig, and
Right.
I know you're a busy bee too, so you're
Exactly.
doing all
Yeah.
these things too. So um so it's good, and this is great. I mean, would you have had time to do all these interviews if not for you know so,
Exactly.
so this has been a great thing on another end. I've had some time to um do some spring cleaning. My
There you
dad's
go.
been staying with me, so I've been getting to spend a lot of like quality time with my dad. And
Very
I've had
good.
some time to start working on some musical projects that I was kind of putting on the back burner. So it's definitely a blessing in some ways, for sure.
Right. Right. Definitely a blessing in disguise. I feel you. Definitely gives you a lot of time to just take a breather for yourself and like you said, spend time with your family and really focus on what it is that you can do to make yourself, either be successful or for whatever else in this world. So I
Yeah.
completely.
The, the one disadvantage is that I haven't gotten a haircut, and my hair is just getting a little bit little
You're
bit
getting a
too
little
big.
scruffy over there. Getting
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Well, my dude Dang, he's a barber and he does at house calls. So you definitely, I have to send over his information. He'll come over and hook you up if you need a haircut. So
All right. I was just
spread the
thinking
love.
I might as well. I was just starting to think maybe I might embrace just like the hippie,
There you
you know,
go. Or
look
that.
just for like a couple months and see what happens. Because I just never really grew up my hair too long, but
Oh,
we'll
okay.
see.
Try something
We'll
new.
see. We'll see what happens. Definitely gonna get it cut when I'm able to, like when I'm able to just go and get it cut. But
Right.
but in the meantime, I don't have anywhere to be. I'm kind of just
Right.
chilling. So.
Might as well experiment with it while you can.
Right.
So, have you been working on any new projects, any new techniques while you've kind of been stuck at the house?
Um, Projects or techniques? Um, well, hmm. Projects, I guess, specifically to music or just general.
Music
Um,
in general.
because like the biggest project that I have is this room that I'm in right now is sort of an all-purpose, like it's like a laundry room. Used to be the garage back once upon a time. But I've got like the office, but now I've got my keyboard and I've got my sort of a space. I mean, you saw it because the tapestry here. I got my keyboard. Uh,
Yes, love that tapestry. It's so dope.
um, and yeah, so I got just that set up, which was sort of a big thing because everything, my keyboard, I usually leave it just right in my car because I just go to a gig next day, go to a gig next day. So it's like, it's not worth it for me to take it out, put it in, set it up, and then take it out again.
Right.
But, so now I'm just having it sit here. I can just sit and practice and just, yeah, I've been practicing a lot more really. And that's something
Good.
that's really good for me to just be able to sit and practice. I've always been bad at practicing music. Like I don't like to practice that much
Okay.
growing up. Um, so well, I let me. I never didn't like to just play or just sit down and goof around on the piano and learn and experiment and do different things that way. But I always hated to just like be assigned something and practice which
Okay.
I was assigned. But now I'm sort of assigning myself goals, and so it's a
Right.
little bit more structured than just doing whatever. One of the goals is I have a bunch of they're called real books. They're just jazz chart books. Um, and I'm just going through them and I'm just reading the charts and saying, do I like this? I'm listening to them. Is this a cool chart? Because I'm trying to expand my repertoire. It's so easy as a musician to just play your favorite songs over and over and over and over again.
Right.
But sometimes it's a good thing, especially when you have an audience that comes to see you regularly. You want to give them a little variety. You want to give them a taste of something different. You don't want to keep bashing them over the head with the same songs because, I mean, they like them too. So
Right.
it's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely something to think about if you're a professional musician. You wanna bring something new to the table once in a while,
Exactly.
and that process is a little slow. Was slower for me, but recently I've been starting to bring out some new stuff and have time to learn new stuff basically.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you're able to at least, get a little couple new techniques underneath your belt, and you'll just come out the house even that much better than you already are with your music and impress us all. So, have you found any challenges for you during the creative process during this time?
Um, Challenges. Um, hmm, to think about that. Um, no, I don't feel challenged right now. Um, I feel like the biggest challenge is myself. Like,
Yeah.
right now, I have all this time and all this like structure. Like, I have this like unstructured time
Right.
that I have so much that I want to do, and I have to use it right. I have to like structure my own schedule in the way that um I'm very bad at time management. Let me just say, like I just
Okay.
generally speaking, I suck at time management. I suck at like just sitting down saying this is what I'm going to do and just doing it.
Right.
Um and especially when I'm kind of busy, it's like a lot of things get pushed aside. Now I have all this time, and so I guess the biggest challenge for me is just saying, okay, Nick, you're gonna do this now. Like, um, but I've been getting stuff done, um, stuff that I've been wanting to do. So I've been, but I think I could do better, and it's always, we can always do better.
Right, right.
So yeah, I just gotta not hold myself back and just take advantage of this time while I have it.
Right, exactly. Just kind of let loose and let everything be free. So, as a musician, what is your goal to uplift the people around you, whether that be during this time, before this time, or after?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I've been trying to, not just musically, but just generally on Facebook, mostly, um, just put stuff on there that people will enjoy, and hope that it brings um, joy to their day. Um, Generally, I mean, I've been posting some stuff on Facebook, just some uplifting stuff, but also some entertaining stuff. But part of that is the live stream. I did the live stream last night of my jazz set.
Yes, yes.
I
Thank
I
you for that.
I hope that people tuning in will be able to, smile and say, "Yeah, I really am in vibing to this." Uh, I also did, a couple weeks ago, I did a streaming sacred song service from my church. That is um, sort of it's my ministry, I guess. So I'm giving people, I'm trying to give people a sense of comfort and an ability to sort of have a sense of normalcy in this time, because
Right,
right now all church services are canceled, which is
right.
I could have never imagined a world where church was canceled, like, and Easter and
Seriously.
Holy Week. I mean, I never even considered the possibility. And when everything got canceled, I was really bummed. In fact, this is Holy Week, and like, today's Good
Right.
Friday, yesterday was Holy Thursday, and then, tomorrow would have been Holy Saturday, which is my absolute favorite. It's my favorite, and it's the highest mass of the year. It's like the penultimate Easter celebration. It's the Easter Vigil service, which is a nighttime service, and it starts off with dark. Everything is dark, and they light a fire outside of the church, and then
Cool.
they bring the fire with candles into the church, and everyone lights their candles. So all of a sudden, the light fills up the church with candles, and then slowly throughout the service, it starts off very dark and somber music, but the music starts to pick up and become more uplifting, and then the lights slowly come back on in this church,
Hmm.
and like gradually they turn on this light and then that light, and it's such a spiritual, um amazing experience to just go to Easter Vigil service,
Right.
and plus they have all the incense, and it's just an amazing meditative experience. And so that was always my favorite liturgy, and so I didn't, I obviously can't, I don't have the ability to do that this year.
Right.
So I'm not going to do a Holy Saturday service, but I'm going to do an Easter Sunday sacred song service again, and that's sort of my way to minister to people who feel like going to church. I mean, they've seen, there's these live streams of church services and people doing sermons and doing mass and, stuff, and that's fine. But I think that one thing about church that really unifies people and really makes them, um it really comforts them and draws them into prayer, is music.
Right.
So the sacred songs are not just music, they're prayers. And so people can sing along with me as I'm doing the songs. They can sing from their homes, or they could just listen and just reflect. And so it's however they would prefer to do it. It's a little awkward because we're not in person,
Right.
but it's better than nothing. So
It
I have
is,
to do
right.
something.
It's good that you're giving the people, something to look forward to in a negative time like this, especially with the church service. So it kind of seems like you really do have a strong sense of community within your church, though, which is pretty cool because you don't really get to see that very often now, and especially in our generation. So that's really cool that you're doing that for them.
Well, I've been blessed by a wonderful church family who supports me really, way more than I probably deserve. But
Oh,
um, I've just been blessed, and it's not just my church, but it's my community as a whole. I know so many people, I mean, in this area and from around the world, and I think we're all a community. I mean, it doesn't really, I don't really limit it to my church, um, but it's when I'm in the process of just going through day to day, week to week. I do music at my church,
yeah,
and I don't normally broadcast what I do in one little church to the whole world, but now I'm doing that. So I'm sort of, in some ways, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess, because I'm able to minister to a lot more people,
right,
potentially. So maybe, it's just, maybe this is just what's supposed to happen. It's happening for a
right.
reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. That's very, very true. And I've heard a lot of that through all my interviews about, this is a curse, but it's a blessing, and that, everything happens for a reason. And I definitely agree. So COVID-19 can be bad at times, but also it can be such a positive thing and shine, a really good light on, the creatives and our community. So yay for you. So,
Thank you.
do you have any words of advice or wisdom that you'd like to pass on to the people that are, kind of down and out during this time?
Just, man, um, don't give up. Things are going to get better. We just gotta hunker down and just get through this. But I know, like a lot of people are stressing out right now about finances and
Right.
stuff. And I know it's a good thing they've really expanded unemployment benefits, which I plan to apply for.
Yeah, you better get
Um,
on it.
I know. That's one thing. It's like I need to just sit down and do it, right?
Right, exactly.
But I just kind of got distracted by all the other things I wanted to do. But
Right.
so yeah, just I would say to everyone, there's going to be a silver lining in all of this, and just don't give up. Just keep going. I mean, what else can you say? If anyone needs anything, I mean, you need to hang out with people. I mean, use your phone, FaceTime with someone. It's
Exactly.
a great way to just feel connected to someone, if you feel alone, and if you really need to just talk to someone. I mean, I'm always, even just the person that is willing to talk about stuff. I know, if you don't know me, probably you're not going to message me and say, hey, I'm lonely, I need to talk to but
I need someone to talk to now.
to all my friends, always feel free to reach out. I always like to talk to people, and it's always a good way to just be be friends and just
Yeah.
enjoy each other's conversations. And um yeah, I don't know, we're all in this together.
We
So
are, yes. Even though from afar,
I, I
we're
know it's
alone
the
together.
cliche. I know it's kind of cliche. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we're all in this together. Yeah, but we really are.
Yeah. I mean, we have to stay strong for one another, even though we're far apart, because I mean, that's the only way we're gonna get through this. We do have those people that are, out here and still, disobeying what the experts have told us to do, which doesn't really help. But as long as we can come together in this way, like you're saying, through, FaceTime or through meetings like this, at the end of the day, it'll all work out, because the sooner that we can get out of the house and be able to actually reconvene and get back to normalcy and finally get to see some like live music, because I definitely can't wait to see you again. I want to see you host a live show at Room 33 again for sure, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. Well, definitely. And I'll just throw in this too. Yeah, today was kind of a crappy day, but
yeah.
I would say the weather, oh my God, like
Yes.
when the weather gets nice, man, all I want to do is just be outside. So
Yes.
take advantage of some vitamin D, go
Amen.
outside. Like, don't be afraid. You're not gonna get COVID from just like the breeze in the, in like, just
Fingers
go
crossed.
outside, go for a walk, like just get some fresh air as much, because I've been doing that and I feel so much better when I
Right.
just walk and go for a walk and get some exercise. I mean, it really is going to make a huge difference. And fingers crossed, let's just hope that it gets warmer sooner here in Erie. I know
Yes.
like some places down south are already like is really beautiful, but like we're almost there. We're almost
We're
there, and
close.
it's going to be. So don't give up, because things are going to get a lot better very soon. And what would be nice is if the really good weather overlapped with this quarantine, because it'll just be so beautiful. We'll just be able to spend a lot of time outside, and yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I'm looking forward to.
I
So
agree, because the longer we kind of get stuck inside and with no sun, like that's where the depression definitely comes into play, and like a lot of the other mental illnesses that people are experiencing now. So I definitely would say the same amount of advice. Go get that vitamin D, because we desperately need it to keep our hopes up and our spirits high.
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, that was pretty much like all the questions I had for you. So why don't you kind of pull up on us with your showcase and show us what you got?
All right.
All right. Don't let me twist your arm too much.
My keyboard, I had it on and it shut off, and I had it on a certain setting that I wanted it on.
Oh
So I have to
no.
reset it up here. Um, it's a newer keyboard. The older
Okay.
one didn't shut off automatically, and
Oh.
I have to get used to the fact that this one does.
Oh my goodness. You're like,
Um,
wait, what's going on? Who turned this off on me?
yeah, it's if I don't touch it for like I don't know, like 30 minutes, like it'll just shut off. Like I don't like it. I want to
That is
figure out how to.
weird. That's kind of like when your computer screen goes dark after like you're just sitting there. Like I hate when that does that, when I'm like trying to write an article and I'm trying to process something and then my computer just shuts off on me. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to. I didn't think about this fully all the way through, so let me figure out the way to.
You can do it. We believe in you.
I don't know if this is. I don't know how well you can see the keyboard. Yeah,
There
there.
we
That should.
go. Yep, we got a view of the tapestry, the keyboard, and you. That's all we need, baby. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
well, don't
second.
drop it. Be careful.
I'm gonna go back just a little bit because I want to get more in the frame than it's showing. Sorry, everyone.
It's good. We're figuring it out.
Yeah. Don't you just love my tapestry? I love this
I
tapestry.
know, and it's
Um,
perfect because it's a unicorn, and that's my logo, is a unicorn horn, because all of you creatives are majestic beings that are one of a kind. So I'm glad that you're representing the whole Tales Behind the Creative brand right now. It's perfect.
yeah. All right. Let's see. So, okay. So the first, actually, I didn't want to start with the keyboard. I'm gonna start with the guitar.
Yeah.
Now, just a disclaimer. I'm really not half the guitarist that I am a pianist. So, I'm okay. I'm okay at guitar, but it's just piano's my real instrument. So
Oh my God, I've seen you play guitar. You're pretty awesome at it. Way better than
if
I
you're
could ever do. So don't doubt yourself or talk down. Come on now.
well, I'm just saying for if anyone's just tuning in and they're wondering, I thought that guy played piano or something. I do. I
Like
know.
so confused.
Um, this is a song actually. Just kind of. I've known this song for a long time, but I haven't ever really tried to play it or sing it. But last night I just kind of I was thinking I wanted to do it, and so I kind of put it together. This is just sort of a great song for this COVID quarantine, I think, because it's just like, man, just well, it's Jack Johnson, Brush Fire Fairy Tales. So for those of you who know that song, slow down, everyone, you're moving too fast. It's just like, yeah, man, just like slow down. Let's take like our life and really think about what we're doing and be conscientious about the fact that we're living. Let's live and just enjoy our lives, not just like go and go and go until it's over. So this
Right.
is Brush Fire Fairy Tales by Jack Johnson.
Right.
Brush by fairy tale, itsy bitsy diamond wells, big fat hurricanes, yellow belly giving names. Shortcuts can slow you down, and in the end we're bound to rebound off of we. We'll dust off your thinking caps, so look how we're plastic plants. Pretty pictures of things we ate, we are only what we hate. But in the long run we have found, silent films are full of sound, inaudibly free. Slow down, everyone, you're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. Inaudible melodies serve narrational strategies. Unobtrusive tones help to notice nothing but the zone of visual relevancy. Frame lines tell me what to see. Chopping like an axe, or maybe Einstein should just relax. Slow down, everyone, you're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. Plato's cave is full of freaks demanding refunds for the things they've seen. I wish they could believe in all the things that never made the screen. And just slow down, everyone, you're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. Inaudible melodies, narrational strategies. Slow down, everyone, you're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that.
Woo! Yeah, that was good. Yes.
All right. So next song, just gonna get some water here.
That's all right. You gotta moisten those vocal cords. Get yourself ready.
Yep. All right. Next song I have is an original song that I wrote.
All right.
I originally wrote it when I was 17, but I revised it. I revised it this year and made it a lot better.
All right.
So let's see. So now this is more of my jazz sort of stuff.
Okay.
A little bit more jazzy. Anyways,
Does it have a song title?
what?
Does it have a title?
Oh yes, A New Girl to Love.
Ooh, okay.
I've loved you for all of my life, head over heels, but you say it was strife. I don't get no loving anymore, not even hugging or kissing no more. I really do love you, but I guess you said we're through. So if you don't love me, a new girl I'll begin to see. A new girl to love and a new girl to hold. A new girl to serenade and a new girl to propose and a new girl to want and a new girl to need, a new girl to be happy with, and one who loves me. I should have known that you were bad news, 'cause I was just singing the blues. But now I'm happy as can be, a new girl I began to see, a new girl to love and a new girl to hold, a new girl to serenade and a new girl to propose and a new girl to want and a new girl to need, a new girl to be happy with, and one who loves me. New girl to love, new girl to me, new girl to serenade, and a new girl to believe in, a new girl to want, and a new girl to need, a new girl to be happy with, and the one who loves me.
Oh my God. That was amazing. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Nicholas, you are so talented. That was so, so good. Holy shucks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on here and performing. Oh my goodness, I'm loving it.
I'm not, that's the thing, is like I wrote that song when I was 17, and I feel like it's such a good song, in my opinion. I just like, it's a good song, it's solid, right? But
Yeah.
like, I haven't been able to write anything on that level since then, and it frustrates me. Like, I want to write something as good or better. And that's been a struggle for me. It's just like, to get my compositional juices flowing again. Because when I was younger, I used to write a lot of songs, and then I went to college and I studied music composition in college, and I did a lot of classical composition, and it was great, and it was a great learning experience. But it broke my brain to the point that I lost my ability to just simplify and just write a song. Like, now I'm like thinking about like a lot of like dissonant, crazy kind of music, and I just need to kind of get back. And I'm hoping by the end of this quarantine I'll have written another song. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. That's a goal for sure.
Yeah.
So one other song I had planned here is a song that everyone I'm sure knows, but it's sort of my own version of the Beatles song "Come Together."
Okay, nice. I'm excited. Yes, I love that song.
Just gotta get the right setting here. 1 second.
You're good. Do your thing.
All right. Oh, actually, no. 1 second.
You got this. I'm excited.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Shoot. Something happened.
Oh no. Not cooperating.
I accidentally changed the setting that I did not mean to change.
Uh-oh.
And it's messed something up. Okay. All right. Now it should be good.
All right, we're back at it.
Sorry, everyone. Technical difficulties. I don't normally have this many problems. Of course, while I'm live streaming, that would happen. But
it's all right. Patience is a virtue. They'll be fine.
grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeball. He want holy roller. He got hair down to his knee. Got to be a joker. He just do what you please.
God dang it! Damn iPad!
You saw that too. All right. All right.
We're back at it.
He wear no shoe shine. He got toe jam football. He got monkey finger. He shoots Coca-Cola. He say, I know you. You know me. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me. Keep that production. He got walrus gumboots. He got monocycle. He won spinal cracker. He got beat down below his knee. Hold you in his armchair. You can feel his disease. Come together right now over me. He roller coaster, he got early warning, he got muddy water, he won mojo filter, he said 1 and 1 is 3. Got to be good looking cause he's so hard to see. Come together right now over me. Come together right now. Come together right now. Come together right now over me. Come together right now. Come together right now. Now. Come together right now. over me. Come together, come together. Together right now.
Woo! Ow, 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 ow! We lost you on video through it, but that's all right because we still got to hear it. That stuff was beautiful. Oh my God.
I was worried about that because I saw a notification. My phone was like, "Oh, it's low battery, whatever."
Oh
And then
God.
I was worried, but I was like, you know what? It's better if I just keep going.
Yep. I'm glad you did because we still heard everything and that was fucking beautiful. Oh my gosh. I really like that rendition. It really
Thank
like
you.
brings out a lot of different notes and tones to it. I really, really enjoyed that a lot.
Well, it's sort of a new sort of style I'm developing, which is just taking my jazz self. I'm just taking what I know from jazz, and I'm taking songs that people know and love that aren't from the jazz era necessarily.
Right.
You know, I mean, I love songs from the 30s and 40s and 50s. Don't get me wrong, but most people don't have a connection. I am now, like of our generation at least. I mean, our parents, they listened to their parents' music, and that was that. But like a lot of us know our parents' music, and that was the Beatles. That was, you know,
Right.
Led Zeppelin. You know, it was these like bands that happened in like the 60s and 70s, and so trying to do a little bit more work, um, trying to learn those songs, and then the thing about what I do, is so there's a lot of people who say, well, you can't, you're either basically you're either a singer songwriter or you're a cover artist. And
Right. Okay.
I
Right.
don't accept that that dichotomy. I think that for me, I like to make I like to cover songs, but I like to make them my own. I don't want to make them sound exactly the way that um, that the musicians that originally did it. I want to make it my own, and you know, so that's sort of my project. And then, but then, yeah, of course, singer songwriter as well.
Right.
But it's like I don't have 2 hours worth of music of my own original music that's really worth putting out there. So I just, you know, um, I would prefer to just cover a lot more songs and then throw in a couple of my own original stuff in my
Right.
set. So that's kind of what I do. But yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know how much, we're over an hour at this point,
Yeah.
but,
That just
I
means it was a
just,
great interview. Like, what the hell? There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with that. I like the longer the interviews, the better that they are, honestly.
well, I really appreciate you having me on. This has
Yeah.
been, really fun. I've never done an interview like this. So
Really?
this is really, really new experience, and, really awesome, that you're doing this. I love this, promotion, platform that you're doing. I mean, thank you for doing this. Thank you for caring about the creatives and the artists,
Right.
and giving us a chance to introduce ourselves to the community. It's in a new way, a new
Yeah.
platform. So I really appreciate you doing this.
Aw. Well, thank you. I appreciate the love that you're giving me. I've always been a part of going to shows, and I've always loved getting to see you guys on stage, but there's always the different view of your personal life. And, there's people that want to know so much more about you. So I'm glad that I'm able to give that opportunity to the audience for them to hear and for you guys to actually give your whole spiel of who you are to people. So I'm grateful that you were able to come on the show. So,
Yeah, me too, me too.
yeah. So before you leave, how can people find you on social media, online, any platform?
Um, yeah, go Facebook, Instagram now is probably the best. Well, Facebook is the best way, really.
Yeah.
I've been trying to post more stuff on Instagram, but it's kind of like I'm not the Instagram generation. I'm the Facebook generation.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I feel
so
it.
it's like yeah, it's important to be on Instagram too, but it's like not as comfortable for me. So I just post most of my stuff on Facebook. So you go to my name, my first name Nicholas, my last name Nasibyan, spelled Nasibyan. It's an Armenian last name like Kardashian. Anytime you see YAN or IAN, that's Armenian. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you again so much for coming on tonight, Nick. I really appreciate it. Your showcase was amazing, and I know everyone else that was on Facebook Live was sharing all the hearts, so they loved it too. So it was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching how many times I said because I have a hard time sometimes to not in add those syllables and things
Right, those
into
filler
the
words.
middle of
It
my
happens to the best of
sentences.
us. Well, you go have a great night. Keep staying safe out there, and we know we'll definitely run into each other after this is all over, wherever that
Yeah.
may be. And I'll be pulling up after your shows, giving the love and the support that you need. So, yeah, thank you again so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. All right, bye, honey. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that's a wrap. It's another show of Tales Behind the Creative. That was Nicholas Nasibyan. Very, very awesome musician. Very, very beautiful with his talents. He's incredible. I've seen him perform live a couple of times, and that's kind of how I ran into him. Seeing him perform live at places like Room 33. I've seen him at King's Rock. He never performed there, but I ran into him there. But a really, really cool dude. Kind soul, great heart, and very talented. So I'm glad you guys were able to take a peek into his life and learn a little bit more about him, and then get to see a showcase because that was incredible. I like how he infused his techniques into an old song that we all know and love, as well as his own song that he wrote and composed himself. It was awesome. It was a great experience. So earlier, I did play the Ballad of Bertie Sanders. You can pull up on that on YouTube, and of course, this will be put up on the Erie Reader at a later date, so you guys can rewatch and read the article to get a more feel for the sense of who Nick is. But this is going to be the end. Of course, we'll be back again tomorrow for episode number 10. Time is flying, which is great. So I can't wait because that means 20 more days until this is all over, guys. So I'm glad that I can assist in the countdown and, make time go a little bit faster as we're stuck inside. So tomorrow I'm going to have Nathaniel Mary as my guest. He goes by the stage name of Nary. I just listened to some of his music earlier. It's really, really good. He kind of infuses the rap genre as well as the hardcore rock genre as well. So it's very, very interesting and intriguing. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about him and you guys to see his showcase and learn a little bit more about him as well. So, of course, you guys can pull up on my Facebook Live here. I'm probably going to end up transitioning it over to my new page, Trails Behind the Creative, once I get enough likes, because I don't want you guys to be able to miss out on partaking in the live aspect of the show, because I know you guys all enjoy it, and I enjoy seeing the feedback as it goes along. So, like I said, Tales Behind the Creative is another page that I did just recently make. So please pull up on that page, give it a share, give it a like, follow me, so that way you guys can be updated on all the new things that are happening with my show and any new developments that I come up with my business. So I'm glad that you guys tuned in. I'm glad that you guys are loving what I'm doing and continually giving me the support that I need to make this show that much more successful and spread the love for all these creatives that desperately need it and they deserve it as well. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm Simone, your hostess with the mostest, aka the hostess with the samostest. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow for Tales Behind the Creative at 8 p.m. sharp. Until then, you guys have a great night, a great day tomorrow. Stay safe, and I love you all. Thank you so much for what you do and what you continue to do. And I'll see you guys then. All right. Bye.